Good evening, Insia.
Now you'll notice that there's a delay because the signal has to go all over the place. So bear with us. It's not something that we are doing wrong, but it is a delay that is on the system. Mariaan, recently we had a lot of problems with the power. Secunda has been off power for 7 days, I think.
7 days.
And 7 days, and the power is back on at the moment.
Yes, all the affected areas were brought back online. I see there are some individuals that still does not have electricity, but it has been reported to the call center. So hopefully that will be sorted as well.
Okay. Mariaan, it's been a difficult few days because everybody was screaming and shouting about their power, which we can understand why. What was the main reason for the big delay? I know that I've been also there a few times with you, and I know at one stage they had to put a new cable in, they couldn't get the fault. What was the main problem?
Well, the fault originally started on cables that were stolen, and then that eventually weakens your whole network. So when the power eventually went out, the fault had to be located. And although we brought in big companies with specialized machines, both could not pick up the fault. The fault was stretching over maybe 1 kilometer, the first one between ring sub 9 and ring sub 10. Eventually, we had to call in a specialized team from Middelburg with better and stronger equipment, which then located the fault between ring sub 9 and ring sub 10. But in the meantime, ring sub 1, 1B, and 2 were also affected by the same situation. So it's a fairly big area that was affected by the outage.
Now, the problem with that is that Sunset Park was one of the big areas that didn't have power. I know that a lot of people are shouting and saying incompetence and things like that, but I found that while the two outside companies were there, they could also not find the faults, and only after we installed a new cable, one of the faults came to light.
Yeah, well, my understanding also is that when the cables are very deep and there's also moist in the soil, it's difficult to pick up the thumping sound or the thumper to do its work properly. So for me, I think it is the fact of a very deep cable and then also the moist in the soil that affects the thumping.
Mariaan, just quickly on the thumper, we always speak about the thumpers and so on. Are you ready to give us a short explanation on what the thumper does?
Well, the thumper sent out, it connects to the substation. Let's take, for instance, now ring sub 9, which was affected. The thumper, the vehicle with the thumper bolted in the vehicle, they connect to the ring sub. And from there, they have a person that walks with a piece of equipment with headphones as well. So it will, the one staying at the ring sub will keep on sending out pulses. And as far as this person is walking, he picks up the pulses and he sends back the pulse to the thumper at the substation. So once he gets to a place where the fault is, it would make like an explosive sound on the cable, which you then can pick up and say, this is the area where the cable is now. Today I actually shared a video on some of the groups where I took a video from one of the teams that was working there and they were thumping. So you could clearly hear the click, click the moment they pick up the fault.
But also you can pinpoint quite exact of where the fault is, because you can hear it by ears as well.
Yes, you can hear it. And even if you stand on the side, say for instance, you have not opened the area yet. I mean, at my house, they've done it as well. They have not opened the area, but I was asked to remove my palisade, and I said, why? How do you know? And then they went back to the mini sub and they switch it off. And so when they switch it back on, you got this like thump underground, like it felt like you had something coming from underground. So yes, it is.
No, finish first.
No, it is quite a specialized piece of material. Or
Okay. Yeah, and it's quite expensive as well. It's not something that everybody sits in the backyard and have it.
No. The municipality, I must say, the municipality does have its own. Although it was bolted in a vehicle and the vehicle was on its way to Bethel, where it had a burst tire and the vehicle rolled. So our thumper has now been removed from that vehicle. It was written off and it was built over into a trailer. But now for now, it still needs to be tested to see if it's still working. So for now, we actually need to get help from outside to help us thump and find the fault.
So our thumper was thumped.
Yes, you can call it that way.
Mariaan,
And fortunately this time, if I can just mention, fortunately this time we had a business person who sponsored the thumper for the day. And yeah, if it wasn't for that person, then we would have been still out in the dark.
But that is quite important, Mariaan, because I wanted to speak to you on what you've arranged and what other people have supplied. And then the second part is the attitude of people towards you, especially you, as the one that gives all the answers and so on. But let's start with in the beginning. The municipality, I know that they phone you often and say, we don't have a chainsaw, we don't have a back actor, we don't have those things. What did the public help us with through your mediation?
On this specific outage or during the course of, say, the year? Only for this outage?
For this period, yeah.
Yeah, for this outage, I had a private company that assisted us with TLB from day one. The TLB worked some evenings right up till 11, 12, 1 o'clock until the team was done for the day. And that person actually carried all the costs. She paid her worker, or driver, as you call him.
And the fuel.
She paid him the overtime. And the fuel. And I mean, that TLB had to come all the way from Trichard. But he was on duty every morning and he worked until they told him, it's fine, you can go back home. And this is the same person that sponsored the thumper.
Mariaan, there's a picture that we now supply, or that is now floating around on Facebook and all those places, where you are standing with a shovel. We laughed because we said it makes you look 90 or something. You remember when we spoke today. But people makes it as if we can go. I say we.
You're not wearing PPE. You mentioned now PPE. But yes, on a Facebook post, someone mentioned to go to Rings Up 10, where they were busy opening up a cable to fix, because that was the last cable between 9 and 10 that still had to be fixed. So yes, at the age of 91, I think I'm in a good condition.
But you know, people don't understand the work of a councillor, and they assume prescribed by legislation.
Yes, I mean, when we became when I became a intervene with the municipal workers, I'm not intervening, I am supporting. And that's actually how far I can go. And a minute past 3, I got a call from someone to say why he so and so and so and so does not have electricity. So if the power goes off, tell you within a minute or even 2 minutes or even 5 minutes, what is the problem with the electricity? What the residents must also understand, if there's a power outage, first it gets reported, it all depends how big area is off. So now the person who has got the vehicle stays in Emba North. His colleague, which needs to come in with south. So now he's got to travel from his house, get up, get dressed, gets to his colleague's house, pick him up, then drive all the way to Secunda, go to the call center, outage, which area, and from there they move to the substation to see whether something tripped in the substation. So that situation reported can take up to 45 minutes up to an hour before you will get feedback. So it's difficult for people to expect from you to know within minutes to know why is the
Feedback.
because I'm on the yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to say if you get feedback so quickly, it might be more than an hour.
The soonest actually, but I also have due to the fact that I am on the technical portfolio, I also have access to our portfolio. We have a portfolio within minutes. They will also only be able to tell you, say, within an hour, 3/4 to an hour, what the problem might be. So, yeah, I'm asking.
I wanted to do as well and just to speak about, and the thing is, you see now, old age is creeping up and yeah, okay. Now I wanted to ask about the thing about councillors and so on, but people think that because you are the call centre, you are not the call centre. The call centre is there, and they must still report it at the call centre. And then what we are supposed to do, and I'm saying we because they shouldn't just pick up the phone. You know, you have your own ward and the whole of the town to report to. I mean, when we sit and drink tea, your phone rings non-stop.
Yes, I want to say that it's difficult for me to say no. If someone is in need of help, even if they have reported their outage or their burst water pipe or whatever, they have reported it, and then I would gladly help them. So it's not really an issue for me, but yeah, it's actually the right way to go is to first report it to the call center, and they need to get the standby.
So when they phone you, they're just adding a third person, and it takes a longer while to get the thing reported. I wanted to ask, or say, let's wrap up.
There are not areas that are still off. Most of the areas has been restored, but you have got single houses that did not come back on. And it could be, but I think by now they have checked it, that it could be that it is your own DB that has tripped. And it could also be that with your prepaid meter, although you were for a week without electricity, you might not have checked your meter. You could have run out of electricity, but then also your meter failed to respond. Your keypad failed to respond to the meter outside in the box. But I have already reported the houses that was reported to me that were still without electricity. I've already reported that. But I think the team from the director to the deputy director, the managers, the senior staff, the workers, right down to the ground. I think by now they all had a proper hot bath and they are all in bed, I hope, and that they will have a peaceful sleep tonight, because for them it was a challenging week and they worked every night under very harsh. Between rings up 9 and 10 is very bushy, long tall grass. You're not sure what you will find there, if there are snakes in there. So yeah, it was not safe.
Thank you for your contribution as well. I know that you do a great deal of things. We work together very closely and I know exactly what you do. Hoping to get an early night tonight.
Can I just mention something, please, before we say goodnight? I want to thank all the when I call them. One call, if they answer, they said, "How can I help you?" So without the help of all the private people that assisted in this situation, and not even only in this situation, any time that I call them, they would not hesitate to assist me.
Want to have their names known?
No, they have asked me to please don't mention me, and I will respect that. But they know.
Well, Mariaan, thank you very much on that high note. I'm going to stop the transmission now, and thank you for speaking to us, or to me in particular, and to the people. I hope they do understand, or to throw insults and so on. A councillor's hands are bound by legislation, and that legislative manager, which is the accounting officer. And if we go around, we really try and do it, and Mariaan's going out of her way to do that. And please just be patient. Mariaan's doing everything she can. All the other councillors are to get something done. And yeah, please, patience. Mariaan, thank you very much for speaking to us.
It's a pleasure. And remember, Governor Mbeki, specifically Secunda, you are in my heart. You are my family, and I will do anything